So I got this direct message on the Instagrams, and it says this. Dr. D, my 13-year-old daughter will be going back to class in school mid-August. Last year, she was online all year. She's dealing with social anxiety and depression. How can I help her other than getting a counselor, which she already has? How can I, as a mother, support her? I feel helpless. She has no friends. Today in her session, she just cried for 15 minutes. When I asked her what happened, she said, all I was doing was practicing how to get to know someone. So when I go back to school, I can hang out. But I couldn't do it. I had a panic attack. Any tips will help. I'm so grateful for this question. I'm getting this all over the place. Listen, there will be no easy way back for millions and millions and millions of kids going to school. Getting out, this idea this is going to be easy. Is there going to be 3 steps or 5-step process? There won't be. It'll be hard. And now with looks like the Delta variant's on, there's other schools talking about going back online just to start the school. We're just going to keep figuring this out. So here's a couple of things that you can do. And I don't have any notes here. This is just what I'm doing in my house. Okay. So this is coming from my head, my heart, not from some like 4 tips to, lose weight and be a better, not that. This is just what I'm doing in my house. Step number 1, you've heard me say this over and over. I'm going to keep going back to it. Skin on skin contact with your kids every single day from you. That means you start every day with a hug. That means you, when they get home from school, you hold their hand, you hold their face, you look them in the eyes, you tell them that you love them, you're glad to see them. You don't just in your rearview mirror when you're driving home go, hey, how was it? Fine. Cool. And you just go back. You have to stop. You have to bridge that awkward gap between you and your 5-year-old, you and your 13-year-old, you and your 19-year-old, whatever. Touch their body if they're okay with it. Look them in the eye and say, I'm so glad that you're my kid. I know it's so bananas going back to school, and I'm in your corner, and I'm so glad. Number 2, you guys have to go move your bodies together. That means you're going to have to go outside and kick a soccer ball around. You're going to have to not just have family movie night, you have to go family walk night. We're going to do this together. If you've got special needs kids, if you got kids that just want to sit at home, you're going to have to figure that out. That could be as easy as we're just going to go sit on the porch together. And I don't know, we're going to roll a ball back. I don't know. We're going to make this weird. In that last call I just talked about, we played the strangest game of tag wrestle. One of my kids started acting like a cat, and then we ended up swinging each other. I mean, it was just bongo for a while. But we all got sunshine. None of us were wearing shoes. We got to contact the ground, and we all got to laugh, and we all got to move our bodies around. I also know that I'm highly privileged living on a couple of acres out in the woods. And if you're living in an apartment downtown somewhere, it's not so easy. I get that. You got to figure it out. You got to get outside, and you got to move your body. Even if that's stopping on the way home from picking your kids up from school, or when they get off the bus, y'all go to a local park. I don't care what it is. You got to figure out a couple of days a week at least, getting out and moving your body together. The third thing is, as safely as possible and as often as possible, you got to have other kids around your kid. Whether that's a church group, whether that's hey, we're just going to invite 4 people over. This is one of those. Bring them over to watch a movie and eat garbage. I don't care. They've got to be in proximity to other kids. So if you need to have pizza night and come on overnight, do it, right? If you need to go buy we bought this it's like $10 on Amazon, and it stretches out and you attach it, and it's a ping pong table that we just put over our dining room table in the middle of our living room, like where our dining table is. We're just gonna have people over. Like the aesthetics of the living room, I don't care anymore. The kids are in a crisis. And so we're going to play ping pong on our kitchen table, and we're going to eat on our front porch. That's what we've been doing. Does it look great? Nope. Is it going to scratch my table up? Yep, it is. Are my kids going to have memories of us figuring it out along the way? Yes. Are we going to, do I get to smash a ping pong ball at my kids and it makes me feel a little bit better? Yes, right? But we're going to figure those things out. And it could be puzzles on the middle of the dining room table. It could be, hey, we're going to play games every night. We're going to, these cards that I'm sending out to you guys that are going to be available to buy here in a month or 2, whatever it is, we're going to have direct connection with our kids. We're going to have kids at our house if at all possible, or I'm going to have my kid. They're going to be able to go to people's houses. We can do that safely. If you can't do it safely, then we're going to go to parks, we're going to meet places, we're going to do whatever. And this is what it's going to cut into, guys. It's going to cut into our TV watching time. It's going to cut into an hour or two of our sleep. I'm tracking my sleep really closely. I got this with this Whoop strap thing here. My sleep it's getting gnawed off, right? I'm having to make other adjustments. I'm having to work out a little bit different. I'm having to change my diet up. I'm having to be highly intentional because I'm getting less sleep because I've got to put more of my focus on connecting with my kids in the mornings and in the evenings. And they're fraying at the edges. Not just my kids, all of our kids. And then the fourth thing is, I love this. We got a counselor here. What she said is so true. We're practicing reentry. This could be one of the great moments in history where we teach our kids that relationships are something you practice. Connection is something you practice. So if you have a kid who's stressed out, practice, hey, what's it going to look like when you go back? Practice being silly. Practice saying, I don't like your dress. And what's a good response? Start practicing relationships with your kids. And by the way, those of you going back to work, same thing. Those of you who are been working from home and you're dying on the vine here and you're going to have to start going back 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and then you're going to come home and go back. You too, because you got to practice relationships too. So this is going to help you at your work environment as well. Your work environment as well. But what your kids need right now is you to lean in and you to figure out ways with, even if it's like, hey, you know what, we're gonna play fall soccer this year. We're not even a soccer family. We're doing it now. We're playing softball or baseball or whatever the thing is. We're having Saturday hike day. Let your yard grow a little bit taller, right? Whatever your thing is, it's time to start getting super creative. Connection outside and making sure you are touching and interacting with your kids on a daily, regular basis. And all that said, it's still going to be hard. Some kids are going to really struggle. Some kids are going to just zoom right back into this, no pun intended. They're going to get right back into it and they're not going to miss a beat. It's going to be hard for everybody. Be really gracious with yourself, with your kids. Stay connected to their teachers. Make sure you got a bunch of other adult eyes looking on them if you can. Do the best you can, but lean into connection. Thank you so much for that Instagram, man. Whew, that's good.